Does insulin resistance make losing weight harder? If you haven't watched it already, go back to my video explaining what insulin resistance is. But if we look at weight loss studies comparing non-insulin resistant to insulin resistant individuals, quite surprisingly, we actually see that the insulin resistant individuals actually have greater weight loss after a 12-month follow-up period. And now extremely long studies such as this one, which lasted for 12 months, does not give us 100% confidence that insulin resistance actually makes it easier to lose weight. Because over a course of 12 months, there are so many factors that could have increased the amount of weight loss seen in the insulin resistant group. But it does demonstrate that insulin resistance likely doesn't make weight loss any more difficult. But one study did show that insulin sensitivity was positively correlated with a change in fat mass, indicating that people with a greater degree of insulin sensitivity actually appeared to gain more weight. Additionally, individuals that are considered obesity prone typically actually have greater insulin sensitivity. And this does actually make a little bit of sense, because one of the functions of insulin is to increase fat storage and decrease fat breakdown. And as you become more insulin resistant, the fat storing effects of insulin may actually be decreasing, which is why the more insulin sensitive you are, likely the more body fat you might accumulate. And this is very likely one of the mechanisms underpinning weight regain, because as you lose weight, your insulin sensitivity increases. However, as many people know, once you've lost the weight, sometimes it's very difficult to keep the weight off. And one of the many factors underpinning this may be enhanced insulin sensitivity that may actually increase fat storage in response to increasing food intake. And more evidence for this is the fact that in type 1 diabetes, which is characterized by the inability to produce insulin, which somewhat mimics the state of being insulin resistant, a symptom of undiagnosed type 1 diabetes is weight loss. And when these individuals begin to introduce insulin, they begin to gain more weight. And this isn't to scare you about insulin, because insulin is necessary and vital. And people who do everything possible to lower their insulin may actually be doing more harm than good, due to some of the negative effects it can have on muscle mass, the maintenance of water and electrolytes. And interestingly, chronically low insulin actually appears to lower insulin sensitivity, which is why in low carbohydrate versus low fat diets, the individuals on the low carbohydrate, higher fat diet typically show worse insulin sensitivity. So in summary, insulin resistance may not actually make fat loss harder. And being extremely insulin sensitive may predispose you to more fat gain. But this is neither a good or bad thing. But likely even more importantly, weight loss undoubtedly improves insulin sensitivity. Therefore, if you do have insulin resistance, weight loss is probably going to be extremely beneficial. And if you want to learn how to take control of your health and energy, send me a DM to sign up for coaching.